works for me might not work for that athlete or for you guys. And that's one of the things that I love about it too. And what I tell all my athletes all the time, and we have the Facebook group to like bounce ideas off of people with, is there's so many different ways to go about doing it.
You're born an athlete, you'll die an athlete. It's in your DNA.
Live like an athlete so that you can be successful in life.
You're an athlete. Live like it.
ANA, America needs athletes. Welcome, athletes, into the gym closet. If you are new with us, make sure to click subscribe, hit the bell so you can get notifications for new episodes when they drop. We will hopefully be on a schedule to drop every single week on a weekly basis. I'm here, as always, with Amber.
What up?
Zach.
That was less exciting. Whoop, whoop, I think was.
There we go. Zach needs to get the whoop, whoop, and I love it. And Dan.
Hey.
And so today, there we go. That's just a ramp as we get going. So that's awesome. So we are going to talk today about a question that, did we get that question from?
This is a question from an athlete, and it actually was an older question that I remembered when I was thinking about questions that we've been asked. So question that I got a while ago was regarding our nutrition program, and it was, why do we have our athletes track macronutrients rather than giving them a meal plan? So it was a person that had asked if we could develop a meal plan for them that they could follow along rather than basically learning how to track their macronutrients. So
sure. I think the short answer to that is because if you're told exactly what to eat at all times, as humans, we're just not going to eat it, because when the opportunity comes up to go out to dinner, and how many people are going to say, no, sorry, grandma, I can't go to your birthday because it's not on my meal plan, type of thing. And so that's kind of the short answer is it creates an environment that is super rigid and not as easily, what's the word I'm looking for? Compatible to life. But I think overall, and you guys we've all had we've all coached athletes. The biggest thing that I think is the most valuable about our program is the education. And so, like, you learn, if you would do a meal plan, you would take away learning about. If I don't need to think about what I'm eating and I'm just eating off of a list of 5 different things that I have, then that defeats the purpose. You're not learning anything about why am I eating this chicken breast or why am I eating whatever. And so I think that's the part of our program that makes it the best program is that you're learning about the composition of foods. Has anybody ever had a meal plan? I know, like, early on, like, 15 years ago, like, you had worked with someone that did a meal plan, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember it. Maybe like 3 ounces of chicken and broccoli. That's when I was doing competitions, so I think it was a little bit more restrictive. But I don't know. I don't even like to think about that because I don't know what life would be like living off of a meal plan.
That's what. Have you guys ever done a meal plan?
I never have. No.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I don't know. Most of my athletes that I've worked with have not. But you do come across a couple people that, like, have done meal plans in the past, and they're like, oh, why do you do it differently? Mm-hmm. And I think the answer is why the proof is in that they're not doing a meal plan anymore and they're working with us.
Well, right.
Yeah. If it would have worked for them,
right,
they would have been doing it.
For me, like, the answer I always give people is the sustainability side of things.
Right.
And, like, this is the way I always put it, like, bluntly with people, is like, if we were looking at, like, today, what is today, Tuesday? Today till next Tuesday, like a first week, if I were to give you a meal plan for the next 7 days versus having you learn how to track your macros the next 7 days, you would probably be better off, if it was a 1 week thing, doing a meal plan.
Right.
Like, you would have better results in this single week off of a meal plan. because most people don't know what they're doing with tracking macros. They don't have the education going into it of why should I eat certain things, what foods have a lot of protein or carbs or fat, what do I need to be doing. But 2 months from now, you'll be so much happier and so much better off having a little bit of education, having a knowledge and the flexibility to eat what you want in that plan, in that program, rather than 2 months from now, if you were still on a meal plan that one of us coaches would give you, you would hate it.
Right.
And you would probably not be making it to 2 months, honestly.
And that's to go off of that. I think who's going to be able to, anyone, say it's short term, a day. Anyone can commit to doing a meal plan for a day. I'm going to eat these things today.
Right.
Right. And maybe even as short term as like a week. I can turn down going to dinner with my friends because I'm on this meal plan. I can do that this week. You know what I mean? But how are you going to do that for the rest of your life?
Right.
Like, doesn't make any sense. And so having the flexibility to make adjustments and to not only like one of my athletes right now, she had, like, the other week, she had a random dinner that would have been advantageous to go to because it was a work thing. And so her boss was there and all this stuff. So instead of saying like, no, my macros are taken up today, I can't go eat, right? She was able to go, made the choices that she needed to there, and then adjusted her next day because she knew, she was educated enough through the process to where she knew how to make a good decision when going out. And then also that she probably overdid she knew that she overdid fat the night before. So then she cut that amount of fat off the day before, and now she's right back on track. Whereas if you were on a meal plan for that, you fucked up the meal plan for the day before, and you have to get back on your meal plan, but you can't make up for a messed up day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no adjustments to be made.
Yeah, I always talk about with people too is with education is also having a relationship with food too.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Like if you have a meal plan, it's like getting the test answers and taking the test. Like you're not learning anything.
Right.
Like you're just do it for a day, a week, but then like it just kind of like it comes with the territory of like doing the nutrition program is you find different ways to get your protein in different sources rather than just like, I'm going to have chicken for the next 7 days. You can have chicken, you can do turkey, you can do fish, cottage cheese, those types of things, and see the different values of it so that like if you are going out to eat, then like, okay, now I know what to pick rather than I'm just going to pick whatever and then hopefully it fits.
Right.
And you
Right.
don't get bored of the same foods.
Yeah,
over
and you
over.
don't get bored. Yeah, and there's millions of ways that you can fix a chicken or like find other sources of carbs or protein or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, we're educating in our program. We're taking it a step ahead. We're educating you so that you can create a meal plan if you wanted.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of the quick answer, and that's, you know, the bottom line. Has anyone ever been disappointed that like they don't have a meal plan from us, or have been like, I give up. I'm not gonna educate myself, and I'm done with this program because I didn't get a meal plan.
I've never had somebody, especially like after like the first month, once people, because it is a process, you know, it's not something where, like I said, it would be easier for the first couple of weeks to tell you exactly what to eat and hold your hand the whole way. But I would so much rather have my athletes struggle through 4-6 weeks of figuring things out. And then after 6 weeks, they know what they're doing and they have the flexibility to do those things rather than relying on us to continue to tell you what to do over and over and over again. So I don't think anybody has ever, in my experience at least, you know, been like, oh man, I really wish I had a meal plan at this point. I think I've had a few people that will like the very first like week or two be like, can you tell me what I should eat every single day? Sure. And I'm like, no, you got to figure this stuff out for yourself. Because the other thing too is like what works for me might not work for that athlete or for you guys. And that's one of the things that I love about it too. And what I tell all my athletes all the time, and we have the Facebook group to like bounce ideas off of people with, is there's so many different ways to go about doing it. And just human nature, I like to tell people the way that I do things, right? Like if an athlete has a question, I typically go off my own personal experience to be like, this is what I do in that situation. But just because it's what I do doesn't mean that it's what's going to work best for that person. Doesn't mean that it's, you know, what works best for everybody else too.
Right.
You know, so I think that's a part of it too, is figuring out that there's a lot of different ways to go about structuring your day and how do you get your protein and how do you do all these things rather than just relying on like one single way.
And some people like fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, and I don't. So like
So there's no way to get your greens in with Dan. So
exactly. So don't ask me.
Awesome. Anything else we want to add?
I don't think so.
Great question. I like going over those. So yeah, no meal plans from us. I guess if I have done a meal plan. If someone says, I am going to be traveling, I'm going to be on the road the entire time, what should I do? Then I'm like, okay, here's what you bring, here's what you buy at a gas station, and here's what you do to make up your macros.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
And I think
again,
that's
a
very
day.
different than right. Exactly. You can do that kind of stuff for
Yeah.
a day or two.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah.
Born an athlete, you'll die an athlete. It's in your DNA.
live like an athlete so that you can be successful in life.
You're an athlete. Live like it.
ANA, America needs athletes.